All right. Hello, everybody out there. All right. We'll just wait a few seconds. There's a few people in there, but. So, welcome to a very special live edition of Selesnya Symposium. Today we have quite a few guests on the show. And we're going to be talking about a lot of fun stuff today. And Purple is just going to take over the show here pretty soon. Right, Perp? Well, anyways, so we have quite a few guests with us today. We have Kevin from Rogue Deckbuilder, which you see on the screen. That was not intentional. I don't know. Where is the chat? That's weird. I'll fix that in a second. We have MTG Purple and Angie Young, who is a member of Knight of the Round Table. I'd like to welcome you all in. So, before we get into today's topics, let's just do a little bit of a warm-up here. And let's talk about one hot topic that I've been seeing right before we did this whole thing, and is the Star City Games banless modern event. Not sure if you guys heard about this or not. Oh, do we have... Wait, what's going on here? Oh. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, I see. Phone your mom in. So SCG banless modern event coming this year. Perp, I want to get your impressions if you've seen that, and what do you think of that? Yep. So basically, anything that has been banned is basically unbanned for this event. No, exactly. I think it's very interesting, but I want to hear before I chime in. I want to hear Angie and Kevin. Like, first, have you guys seen this? And next, based on what we already talked about, what do you guys think about this? Oh, weird. Huh. Hold on. Let's try something here. How about now? Perp, say something. Hello? That's so strange. XSplit. Yeah, this is weird. Yeah. Okay, let me just try something. All right. So, why don't you guys talk? See if they can hear you. It's so weird. It's showing levels too. How about now? Why does this keep on moving on me? Now I can't hear you guys. Can you hear me? Okay. I can't hear anybody. This is the first time I've ever had these issues. I'm gonna call you guys right back. Are you there? Okay, now... This is insane.
Yep. I hate audio issues. I've gone through so many of them.
Skype is locking me out of this.
Oh, are things changing? Talking is happening with my mouth hole right now for audio reasons.
Hey, they hear Kevin now?
Oh, we got Kevin!
Oh, we're good. We might have... All we need is me. We don't need the rest of these idiots. So.
Hey, get fucked, buddy, you fucking dickhead.
Can you guys hear me?
We got him. We got him. We're good to go.
He's named after the fucking kid in Home Alone, and he's gonna talk this shit. Fuck you.
All right.
So now Purple needs to say everything he said again.
Settings.
That's like post-traumatic stress disorder for me. I used to get made fun of in middle school for that. People used to come up and go,
and that's it. I would be like, that's what they bothered you for. That's weak. I had the fucking the cereal, that Life cereal. Hey, Mikey likes it. He'll eat anything. And I'm like, okay, great, yeah, bowl of cereal. Fuck you.
Right, well, my last name's Young, so the most creative thing that I got was Angela Old. Like, they're so creative, I don't know, man.
All right.
Really?
It wasn't very good.
I just think Forever Young. Forever Young!
I was criminal. What'd you steal today, criminal?
Fine this way for now.
Alright.
Yeah, I saw your last name and no word of a lie. I was like, holy shit, is his name literally Criminal, missing the last two letters? Why the fuck wouldn't your family have that legally changed? It's like, I'm gonna have my last name be Date Rapist, but I'll just knock the S and the T off the end and hope for the best. Are you out of your damn mind?
Okay.
Oh.
I'm date rapping.
Alright. So, I think we're good now. Everybody here? Everybody's here. Alright. Holy moly.
Professional.
Skype had me locked out of the audio changes. Thank you, Skype.
Well, we got it sorted. Good job, man.
Alright.
I got to start with the fraudulent slip again. Can't do that. Actually, they probably heard your end of it, so yeah.
Fraudulent slip.
Yeah, well, alright. We won't go there again. Okay, so we were talking about SCG banlist modern, cash grab. That was Perp's take on it. Angie, what do you think? Have you heard about that? And what do you think about it?
I have heard about it, and actually I find it kind of exciting. I mean, I understand obviously that it's going to, cause a lot of overpowered crap to happen, but I also like the idea of having access to any card I want. So, yeah.
What about you, Kev?
Well, here you go. Here's the can of worms. And this is why I hate allying myself in any sort of groupthink, because this is something that I do see all too often. I'm sure I'll be debating this a lot more on the Jeremy side of things. Is throw the baby out with the bathwater, burn it all down. Because if anyone can enjoy it, it's the greedy vendor. It seems like the his side of things on the spectrums is way more on the anti-vendor, anti-Star City Games, anti-Channel Fireball, anti-anyone that wants to do anything with Magic. Well, here's a little bit of history of the no ban list modern. Of course, I don't want to play in it because I exactly know how they've done things before in the past. We know how it plays out. However, Star City Games has been streaming. A lot of their streamers have been streaming no ban list modern. A lot of the fans have asked for it and asked for it and asked for it. So finally, a vendor says, "Fine, we have this. We'll put it in a no ban list. We'll see what we can do with it. We'll have some fun with it." And then we have people crying bloody murder that's a cash grab. I mean, what motivations in life is there? I mean, am I just missing something about how the world operates if, everything is motivated, A, by money, and just B, by, desire to want to do something. And the demand is there. There is an organization that is willing and capable of hosting it. To me, that's just case closed. So, I don't know. I'm pretty triggered lately. So I'll have to do a video of triggering with my face now because of all the just nonsense that is going around with these greedy Channel Fireball and these greedy Star City games. And what the hell do you people want? You just want standard or I don't get it. Could it be a scam? Well, no, because the demands are there. I mean, does Star City Games want to make money? Absolutely. Do they want to move some cards that otherwise couldn't move cards? Absolutely. But I mean, how many of us to go to like a concert or a movie, or for me, when I go fishing and lose 7 lures, is fishing a scam now because I lost out of something I'll never be able to use again? I don't know. Maybe that's a bad analogy, but I'm triggered.
Yeah, I think so. Kind of like my thoughts on this, right, is on one hand, I like the idea, and I wish they would probably do more, more of this. But at the same time, I'm on that same fence of, it's kind of like a cash grab kind of deal. And granted, it's one event as of right now. The question is will they do more?
Who cares?
I mean, it's yeah. I mean, in a way, who cares? I mean,
there's people that want to do it. We're all adults. That's the thing that I keep. Are we all children here now? Or is it like wait? So that's the problem I have kind of with the Jeremy camp is now it's almost like it's flopped. It's like we got to protect the consumer now. We got to protect all these people from these big bad evil. Like I can't make a decision on my own, or other people can't make the decision on their own to invest in a format or get into something that they may or may not enjoy. They're adults. I don't think that anyone should expect anything from this. It's a one-time thing. You could go have some fun. It could be miserable. I mean, like I said, I guess that's a good analogy is that, we do, there's so many other things. At an old game store that I used to play at, we used to do a theme tournament and talk about and prices would go up for that. So one of them we did was Angry Birds. So you had to build an entire bird deck or a pig deck, and they added like beasts to be pigs. So you had to play, and it was a huge. They had like the prices of cards went up at that local game store at that time, just out of scarcity, up to that tournament, and it made them money, and it was fun, and they awarded like points, and they had like these like flavor points and stuff, and then they did one for Valentine's Day that you had to use everything that was either Valentine's oriented or like a bunch of people tried to just run big red type stuff and try to justify it, but again, it was just. Are those money grabs? Absolutely. Why? Because people wanted, something different. This whole nonsense. I'm sure tomorrow's going to be great with really getting into it. But yeah.
So,
but yeah, I don't see the problem with so what they're going to make money off of it. Like of course, like what you were saying, Kevin. Like if you want to play it. Like, from my perspective, okay, so these cards might be more expensive than they otherwise would be, but if I want to partake in it, then that's my choice to spend the money on it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are we protecting here? Is it...
we're protecting TastySnackies. That's what we're protecting.
You're protecting my virgin ears, Kevin.
Oh.
Welcome in.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for having me.
Too bad. I'm leaving the call out of solidarity for deaths now. I can't believe you'd have this monster on the stream.
You're not going to have my back for the game, the challenge that I made against him?
I did see that on Twitter. I need to respond to it. I'll reply later.
Uh-oh.
How about you host it?
Oh, geez. You just want to get me killed, don't you? Should I start throwing them? That guy has guns.
So how's it going, Legendary Mana?
Pretty good. How about yourself? I saw that you were in the chat. So do you have anything to add to the banless modern event Star City Games is holding?
The ban list? Catch me up to speed real quick.
So Star City Games is hosting a no banless modern event.
Ooh.
Spicy.
Okay. That's it. Or what's the prize?
I have to look it up now. Let's see.
You want to talk about a scam? There we go. The prize walls. Those are scams.
Man, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So,
absolutely.
no ban list modern. That's actually really cool. Because It's a great way to show Wizards of the Coast like what cards are actually bannable now that so many more cards have actually entered the modern pool. I don't know if anyone else has brought up this point or not, but I feel like that's good for Wizards. Is this sponsored by Wizards at all, or is this just Star City
Games? Yeah.
Star City Games.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's happening at SCG Con, which is June 8th through the 10th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's... Yeah, because there's a few cards that I think that should be unbanned, like Jason Mind Sculptor I think should be unbanned, Bloodbraid Elf should definitely be unbanned, and I'm sure we'll definitely see those cards during this event, but I don't think either of them are necessarily going to be dominant. If anything, certain decks are just going to get more powerful. I think now that Probe is legal again, it might make Death Shadow maybe the best deck, and you can just throw in a couple Jaces. I don't know. I think it'd be sweet.
Nothing, Jon Snow.
I know nothing about Modern, like absolutely nothing. So
there's a huge difference between things that have been banned in the past 2 years than the original bannings. Yeah, it's going to be all dominated by 2 decks. So they've done this before. I mean, we've already seen they've streamed about it. What no ban list Modern looks like, and there's a big reason. There's a lot of turn 1 kills.
Well, now that Dig Through Time and Treasure Cruise are in the format, you can play that Blazing Shoal, Sam Black Infect deck. That'd be dope.
That would be.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So that kind of wraps up that war. I think it's interesting. It'll be fun to see what happens. Might actually think about going to that. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be kind of fun.
You gonna buy into it? You gonna play in it? You gonna get scammed?
Yeah, I'm totally get scammed. Why not? I love getting scammed. I go to GPs. Especially ones by Train of Fireball. Oh, but anyways. All right, so the first topic of the day. Let's talk. What about the Pauper? Pauper, it's everywhere. Pauper is super, super popular right now. Although it's been around for, I don't know, how many years? Kevin, how many years has it been around now?
Forever. They've been playing Pauper since before. It's been like a format on MTGO forever. It's never been like a sanctioned real format on MTGO. Every now and again they do one. Leagues really set it to a whole nother level. But yeah, it's been one of those things on the Just for Fun or even that little channel for as long as I can remember on MTGO.
Real quick, go around the room, starting with Purple. Any stores around you doing Pauper events?
Right now, I don't see many events firing off for Pauper. Not too many people playing in events, but there are definitely some people who have interest in the format. I mean, the fact that it's super cheap is obviously very appealing. There's a low barrier to entry. But, I mean, for me, the majority of demand I see is almost virtually all standard.
What about you, Angie?
Not at the stores that I go to, but I would imagine that face-to-face, if anybody was going to do it, would be them in Montreal. But again, it's mostly just standard everywhere. Sometimes there's like Commander, or I know that face-to-face does Modern, and so I haven't really heard much about Pauper yet. Anyway.
Snackies?
There's one store that does Pauper, and I've been to a couple of their events. They're closer towards downtown. There's a lot of stores in the Portland area, but I don't know. Recently, a lot of them have stopped doing standard and modern and all that stuff, and everyone's been picking up Commander lately, and a bunch of people on the side are picking up Pauper, so I wouldn't be surprised if it starts getting more popular up here. Like, I don't know, Portland's weird. Like, it has phases. Everyone will go through a legacy phase and then a modern phase. So more than likely, we're gonna have a Pauper surge.
What about you, Kev?
So Pauper comes and goes as a store owner now, and I was involved with sort of 2 other stores before that. Pauper is a thing that usually springs its ugly little head around rotation times. Mainly, it's when a lot of players get sick, especially players, college kids, high school kids that don't have a lot of money, get frustrated when they have to buy into a new standard. And so Pauper will come and go when the craze. I mean, it is a craze like clockwork about every rotation, and it's also been bigger during bad standards for sure, or bad moderns. It's kind of had the frontier effect. But this time around, everything changed with leagues on MTGO. As now that it was supported, and I think that's the key to a format. I think you could probably say the same about Commander. The Commander really didn't take off until Wizards embraced it in at least some shape. So this last craze, that's why I bought into it. Full transparency, I've spent $600 on Pauper probably, buying in a bunch of cards, mainly because A, we started getting the supply outstretched here at my store, and B, I've been following the price trends for quite some time to see that there's legitimate demand for the cards. So my store, again, we've had people play it off and on since I've opened my store, but this time it actually seems to have some legs behind it. And you can't argue with the numbers. Did someone say Houston there were 600 participants in Pauper?
Wow.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
Yeah, there's 300 confirmed, 300 at London, confirmed 200 at Indy, confirmed 180 at whatever the non-US one was going on the same time as Indy. Yeah. So it's been steadily been increasing. And Southern Community College got a round of applause. Let's not talk about that though.
I was at Indy.
At least he deflected it. I don't know.
I mean, I was at Indy, and people were just loving it. I think it's interesting to see at a GP, but I was talking to some of the people playing it, and everybody's happy about it, which is, I've never played Pauper, and I've never really got into it. I've always been standard modern kind of deal, but I think Pauper is going to be... Well, here's my questions to you guys, right? First off, Pauper is just blowing up right now. Cards are going, shooting up everywhere. We got Purple digging for gold in his card boxes at home. I'm looking for stuff in my boxes, but is Pauper going to get to a point where people are not going to want to play it? Are we going to hit 150, 200 dice? Are we going to hit standard price decks? I'm wondering if Pauper's really going to become something that people are going to then fall off and not play anymore. Who wants to go first?
I do, since I've got it on my mind. So, first of all, you can't compare Pauper with standard right now because actually Pauper cards might be more rare than standard cards. The supply of those standard showdown packs are a lot greater than people understand. Just look at Kaladesh for an example of how dirt cheap rares are. So the rarity of a rare from Kaladesh is actually probably less than the rarity of a card from Onslaught before. So the standard's insanely cheap right now. It's never been this cheap. Well, maybe there has been some cheap, but at least in the cons forward, or probably even going back to Zendikar forward, we haven't seen a standard this cheap. It's because Wizards has overprinted these sets as well as injected a lot of supply that used to not get into players' hands as easily as they did with the standard showdown. So that's what people have been calling for a long time. But if you think about it, like Pauper's going to have a hard time increasing in any sort of insane values because the land base is usually just basics. And the rest of the cards that are like the gain life lands, the bounce lands, they've been reprinted a gazillion times that there's no way that they can go up in value. And going up in value is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means people are playing it. And if people are playing it, then how is it going to crash? Because it's you see how it is? It's kind of like correlation there.
The most expensive land is what? Ash Barrens?
Yeah, that rarity means nothing. It was out of a commander set, so they could have made that a mythic, and it wouldn't have changed had the supply of it. But that's the thing. It's just so price goes up, and then new players won't play Pauper because the cards are too expensive. But however, it's only expensive because everyone's playing Pauper, so therefore it's healthy, right? Right? Where's the Velociraptor meme? It's just it's It doesn't. Speculation without demand does not work. It does not work. People have tried it over and over and over again. They've hyped up cards like Seance. They've hyped up decks before, like the Starcy Games is caught in a pump and dump hype with trying to have Brad Nilsson and Jerry Thompson both on a deck for weeks and weeks and weeks. These people have done it in the past, and it doesn't affect the market. There has to be true demand and like true results for prices to stabilize and be there. So again, I also don't think that Pauper, the price is the necessary drive to the why people get into the format. It's a lot of people just like how commons interact with each other rather than, otherwise why don't we just do like bulk rare format if that's the case.
Like, what's that called? Penny Dreadful?
Yeah.
Hey, I can see purple.
Hey.
Yeah, it kicked me out of the call, and I'm trying to get back in now, so hopefully I'm all good. But if you can see me, hey, that's an added bonus. Nice.
Oh, it's making me accept. See, it didn't ask if Skype didn't ask if I wanted to accept Tasty's face. It made me accept your face, though.
Yeah.
So shit, now I need to put my camera on.
Your heart. Accept me like Jesus, all right? I am your personal savior. Accept me into your heart.
Oh. All right, Purple. You're up, buddy, on this Pauper deal. What do you think?
You're gonna, because of the problems I was having with my phone and it was crazy cutting out and sketching out. Just what are you asking me specifically?
So basically, Pauper's blowing up right now, and what we're trying to discuss is Pauper gonna get too expensive for people to play? Like, is Pauper gonna blow up to a point that people are not gonna want to play?
Nah, it's based on a bunch of commons and stuff. There's no way that it's gonna get overpriced because there's virtually nothing in the format that Wizards can't reprint, aside from a few cards that they've inserted into online sets that make cards like Aliopile, Reserve List, also common cards. So that's like $1 card from Fallen Empire. So no, because they're commons and uncommons and almost every single card in the set is ripe for reprint, basically anytime a master set comes along, if Pauper has pressed a price of a card up high enough, it's just like, boom, we got another card to slot into one of our masters cash grab Insano ripoff sets. Good God, I do not have good visions for the upcoming one, man. They are bunglers. Anyways, I know I'm getting off topic. I like Pauper. I don't think Pauper can grow to be too big to ever be a problem in terms of finance or being bad for Magic. There's nothing wrong with wanting to play with a bunch of cheap cards and having fun. I run what would almost be considered a Pauper league, except, you have like uncommons and some rares in there that are garbage too. But it's really all just low-level garbage that we all just wail on each other with and play ante with. So you don't have to spend a bunch of money to enjoy Magic, and Pauper will never get to that point, in my opinion.
What do you think, Tasty?
So too big as in like too big as it's in it too big for its own good, I should say.
Pretty much. I mean, like, are we gonna see like 150, 200? Well, I guess we're already seeing $100 Pauper decks coming up the wings. But like, are we going to hit like $200 in a Pauper deck? And is that out of range?
Well, it's only $5.
$200 for a Pauper deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're already halfway there.
Yeah.
We already hit the $100 threshold. Yeah, it's totally foreseeable that I can see 200. I can see the ceiling be like probably 250, 300, if not more.
Short term.
If Wizards, short term. If Wizards just doesn't decide to reprint the right commons. But yeah, it's way too easy of a target. Like literally, it was the most affordable format before it became mainstream, and it's still going to remain the most affordable format in the long term as long as Wizards plays it correctly. So
what's too expensive? What's too expensive for a Pauper card? That's what I want to know. In everybody's opinions, what's too expensive? What pushes it into the unsustainable realm?
Okay, so Ristic Study is a commander staple, and that's a common, and it's what, $10?
$15. It's 15 Canadian right now. I checked it like a day or two ago, and yeah, that is definitely crazy high.
Okay, and that's a commander staple though. So
look at Manamorphose.
But they can reprint that at a moment's
Manamorphose
notice. That's my point.
It's a modern staple as well.
That's what I'm talking about. Manamorphous is a modern staple. Where's the cries about a common being expensive because another format pushed it up? That's the disconnect
right. Serum
here.
Visions was like $12 before, and that was Pauper legal too. Yeah, I don't think. I want to say like maybe the highest for people. I don't know, probably like $20, 25.
Well, if Wizards wants Pauper to be successful, they're going to have to reprint the cards. But the whole thing is Wizards also, when they see a common, an opportunity to reprint a common, they're the ones going cha-ching. Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, well, I can put this in a stupid dual deck to make it sell, which I think that's a problem they're getting away with dual decks now, because it'll be hard for I think Pauper's going to suffer. If you actually look at the majority of Paupers, like, let's just look down the format staples of Pauper. Let's go. Hydroblast just got a reprint. Preordain, been a while. Ponder, it's been printed multiple times. Counterspell did just get a reprint not too long ago. Augur Bullish just got a reprint. Pyroblast just got a reprint. Lightning Bolt, we know that's coming in the next set. Gush has had one dual deck reprinting. Delver Seekers just got a reprint. Prophetic Prison just got a reprint. This is the trend. Pauper cards are gonna get reprinted. Yes, there's gonna be some of those with very low supplies. In chat was the Oubliette, Gorilla, Shaman. But now Wizards like, whoa, people want this card. Let's print it.
And well,
that's exactly what I'm thinking. There's going to be the core sets coming back out this year, right? And then also the next master set that comes out. Like, they have such an opportunity to print as many of the commons that are in high demand that could ultimately end up helping their sales too, because people will buy packs to try and get these cards.
And they're fun draft cards.
Yeah.
And they're gonna string it out too, though. They will totally string it out, because look at what they've done with cards like Distortion Strike. That was originally a common from Rise of the Eldrazi, right? And they reprinted it as an uncommon because they know it's a common that's gone up to being worth $1 or more that people want. They can print it at uncommon to basically sustain that level of difficulty to get and maintain the value at a certain level. I totally believe that they pay attention to that sort of thing, and they will reprint some, but not a ton, because they're very greedy. So they're not going to come along and most likely just do here's all the best of Pauper, but they could easily go in the next Iconic Masters. We can put Rhystic Studies in here. They're allowed to reprint it. It fits into Pauper. It's obvious. It's a $15 card. It's begging for a reprint. It's free money for Wizards. They reprint it as an uncommon. You've got a $5 or $6 uncommon there based on whatever, and it would probably start out even all the way up at 10.
So Wizards likes to print these weird pseudo board games, right? I'm sure they could put random Pauper commons in those, and Commander product as well.
What's like, in Rivals?
You can reprint Oubliette and throw it in a Commander set. You can also do the same with Rhystic stuff. Or any other weird novelty Commander card. Shit, there's a Counterspell, for example. So yeah, I think there's plenty of opportunities for the cards to be reprinted. It's just all on Wizards to have the correct foresight this time.
Well,
exactly.
Look at Explorers of Ixalan. There's actually quite a bit of cards here that are in the Pauper format that just got thrown in here because they were starting to eke up in price. It's Innocent Blood that's in there. That's used to be a Pauper staple. Could begin. There's a Prismatic Lens in every deck. That's seen a lot of. They upshifted that to an uncommon. Who knows why? It doesn't matter. It's so funny when they make these sets and they put a set symbol on it. It literally means nothing because that's the problem with a card like Ash Barrens. I think that's Wizards' fault too for making that card go expensive. I think the Ash Barrens will just be in this year's Commander set because they're like, oh, people want this. We'll throw it in. Oh, Thought Vessel. We need to throw that in. We called it a common, but it's $8 now. But
it's hilarious. They have that artificial.
Oh no!
You have to be careful with Pauper. Yeah, they're definitely gonna have to, because it does affect an actual format when that's the legality.
Right. How many rares are gonna have to get downshifted until we reasonably can ask for a mythic to become a common? I don't think we'll.
If you may, to add to the fire, is. What's next for Pauper? Is it getting a bigger? Are we gonna get a Pauper GP? Are we gonna get a Pauper Star City Games Classic or are open or anything like that? Like, is this going to jettison Pauper into mainstream Magic to be something where people are going to compete in Pauper?
Well, I think that's the whole point of Channel Fireball and Star City running these events. They're trying to gauge interest, right? Pretty sure that's the whole point of these. It seems like, because if they can create enough of a demand and they can keep it going and they can just keep the forward momentum going with the Pauper format, yeah, I could see them running a GP for it. Why not?
But does Wizards get on board, right? Like, does Wizards do then a Pauper Pro Tour? You know, I mean, does it get that kind of level of attention, or is it just baby steps?
Well, then we've yet to get a Legacy Pro Tour, right? So I think Pauper is probably further back in the line, behind a bunch of other formats.
We do get Legacy this year, though.
Yep.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's like 3-team or 3-team or something like that.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about cash grab?
So anybody else anything to add to that?
Yeah, you know how like everybody always complains that like LGSs are getting hardcore shafted by Wizards all the time, right? Like a lot of people are complaining that these cards are so expensive when, you know, just a couple months ago they were super cheap, but I see that as very helpful for LGSs.
Oh, I can chime in on this.
Yeah.
You want to know what's been going on in the last 6 months at my store? Absolutely nothing has been going on because no one gives a crap about Modern, because Modern has kind of evolved like Legacy has. We have the elitists, and yes, I will call them elitists, and yes, if they're watching this, it's another thing they can put on their list to say why they hate me for running them out of my store, apparently. But they've become elitists with their format that it's the boys club now to play Modern, and no one wants to enter Modern now at the local game store scene. So they all started playing at their house now rather than come in here, because I bowed out of it as well and I just constantly rag on it. But anyways, and they're mad about fatal pushes because we were doing them for standard tournaments and not scheduling FNMs as Modern. So yeah, anyway, long story for another day. But so standard standard might recover, but it kind of has the same problem. It's not an eternal format. Rotation kills off a lot of players. Let me repeat that. Every year we lose players because of rotation. They get frustrated. They leave the game. So Pauper,
especially when it's a forced rotation.
Yeah,
with bannings.
Like bannings, exactly.
Those bannings were brutal. I've noticed a real softening in the number of people turning out over like the last year and a half. It's gotten really bad.
Yeah, well, they need a watch list, and I think that'd solve everything. They need communication, but we'll get an entire huge rant about that, especially with Purple and I on the same stream about WotC. So, but so it's just a store owner. Pauper is something that is so easy for me to convince people to come in and play. It is something that is usually received very well by old players and new players alike. When I'm saying, it's $20, just $20. And well, it's not an investment. It's instead of watching Star Wars Force Awakens for the third time, you buy a Pauper deck. So it's
right. Well, I mean, and even if you're gonna buy like the top Pauper deck and say it costs like $100, at that point it's still less of an investment than standard is, and it's not gonna rotate. Right? So like to me that's more enticing too, to like want me to play or make me want to play that format.
That's a fair point. I mean, actually, and I'll be honest, like with all this Pauper craze, I mean, I'm gonna start looking to buy to put together a Pauper deck myself and just be like, because my LGS is getting ready to do some Pauper events, so I was like, well, might as well go out there and do it. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the arena struggle. I know there's a lot of people that talk about arena in both positive, negative, and neutral light. Everybody has different opinions. Many people are having issues just understanding what arena really is. This is my perception of arena, and I've been playing arena since alpha. And Wizards of the Coast is putting out a new duels that's upgraded with Magic rules, right? a lot of people that are looking to Wizards to replace MTGO with Arena, which, you know, they have forcibly said that's not going to happen as of right now anyways. There's no marketplace, there's no trading, there's none of this. It's just log on, play a game, get in, get out, and collect cards. So I want to just do this as an open discussion instead of ask questions, because I'm sure there's people that have different views and different thoughts behind this. But I want to start out the conversation this way. I've been playing it since Alpha. Looking at Arena inside of a sort of its own bubble, not even thinking about MTGO or anything else. It's actually shaping out to be a pretty good system. I think there's obviously some bugs, as in every game. Let's, look at any video game that's out there. There's always bugs, right? And the progression system so far is looking pretty good. Can't really talk too much about it, obviously, but it's looking great. And I think for new players, intermediate players, and people who just want to get in, play, and get out, it's a good system for that. So I just want to open up the floor and let's talk about Arena, because there's so many different things. I know I popped in briefly to Kevin. You had a stream one day with I can't remember everybody was on there, but Tasty was on there. I think Angie, were you on there as well? And then I know Perp, you stopped in as well. And I stopped in when everybody was talking about Arena, and I had to pop out, so I didn't get a chance to say anything. But Arena in my eyes is not something that is ever going to have any eternal format, and the reason being is I just don't think Wizards has the time, the money, or the backing from Hasbro to spend $10 million on developing a game to have 14,000 cards of interactions that they want in the game.
If Wizards is smart, they'll do it. If they do that and they're able to have a stable economy that makes sense for everyone, like something that just makes sense, like I just said, obviously. But I think as long as you can pretty much mimic paper but in digital form, and they can support it fully, I think it can supersede paper Magic, to be honest. I honestly believe in this product, and I believe in pretty much just gaming and gaming culture. Sure, it may be like a flavor of the month type situation for like esports or something like that, but Magic has its greatest strength is its longevity. And as we move into a culture that is simplifying the way that we live things, we have these supercomputers in our pockets pretty much that can blow everything out of the water that was made like 10 years ago. So I think in the future, as long as Wizards can keep this ship going with this digital product, this can be quite the moneymaker for them. And it does. I do believe, again, as I said, it has the power to overtake paper Magic. But that's just me being super positive about it. That's if everything goes correctly. But knowing Wizards of the Coast, they'll probably just fucking nosedive and it'll fail within the first year. But I don't know. I'm being hopeful.
What's I'm gonna look to you, Purple, because you look like you have something uneasy going on in your pants over there.
Oh, you know what? Actually, the funny thing is, when it comes to the Arena, I did apply to be in the beta. I never got any kind of notification, even though I was in one of the pre-releases. So I never actually got to try it out. I haven't really looked that much at it. I've heard people say it's like Hearthstone, but I can't speak to that because I've never really looked at Hearthstone either. I don't know much about Hearthstone other than it's just some swingy nonsense game. So basically my plan is to go into MTG Arena the way I am right now. I mean, I hear everything people are saying, but until I see the game and form my own opinions, it's all essentially just noise. So I understand that it's not going to be Magic the Gathering specifically the way that I know it, but that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy it. I am currently at neutral in terms of the concept behind the game as far as I know what it is, but in terms of Wizards' capability of execution, I'm incredibly leery. I've had an MTGO account for a long time, and I've ignored it for a long time. I've seen a bunch of their terrible interfaces. They're not... Wizards of the Coast is not a smart company. They're not good at doing things. Like, they used to be good at least at making cards, but now they're bad at everything. They're bad at making cards. They're bad at decision making. They're bad at making games. They're bad at making board games. They're bad at managing virtually every aspect of the Magic property. It's kind of absurd, really. It's like a joke. If you were to say to me, "Hey, Mike, in the future," like if you went back to 1994 and you were like, "Hey, Mike, guess what? You know what's going to happen 24 years from now? Magic the Gathering's still going to be around." And I'd be like, "Shut up. Really? I mean, people will still kind of play that game?" Or they'll be like, "Oh, no, you don't get it, dude. Magic the Gathering will be worth tons of bank. You know those cards you have right now? They'll be worth insane amounts of money. And on top of that, Wizards of the Coast will hate you for being a straight white man, and they will have crazy agendas on top of not knowing how to make cards. They'll make all kinds of products they can't manage. The company is a gigantic tire fire." So my feeling is I really want it to be something I will enjoy, but it probably won't be.
Well, here's something that's interesting that I was actually just thinking about. So MTGO, your account is not linked to, say, your DCI number. However, your account for Arena is, right? So I was just thinking, I was like, well, if they're really thinking about making into an esport, they would obviously have to connect to, your DCI number. So are they laying the groundwork for that already? Is what I guess what I'm thinking. And it's very interesting too because they have a section on there where you can redeem codes. So they basically are suggesting at some point they're going to have a code redemption like the Pokemon redemption codes, which I think would be a good step in the right direction. But I guess, and I want to go around the room and ask this question actually. You as a consumer, as you somebody who would possibly play Arena, if you do so, what would you consider Arena being a success outside of adding all of the other cards? Let's just look at it as a game in itself. What are things that you would look towards for it to be a success? Anyone?
I'm waiting for Angie to talk.
Right?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I guess I can take a stab at it. Well, no, I mean, I wasn't gonna go first, but that's fine. I think, I mean, for me to consider it a successful game is that it's like relatively mainstream, and that maybe a lot of people that do play paper Magic also play on their phone or their computer or whatever as well. I mean, I know enough people that play like X-Mage or something just to practice when they don't have anyone to play with and try to improve their skills or play with their deck list or whatever. And like it would be cool if more people would use Arena or whatever in that kind of manner. And if they did, I think that would be something that would make me want to play it, because it does suck when you want to play and you don't have anyone to play with you. Or in my case, like, I mean, I'm here with my husband and we both have decks, but it gets really, really boring fighting against the same person all the time. And I like the idea of having a lot of people to play with. And then also hold on a second, I kind of lost track. I think that okay, somebody else take over and I'll come back to it.
So for me, it's going to be an attention thing, right? I actually just got the invite to play in the beta about like a week ago. I have yet to I've yet to actually get in it, because that style of game, especially with like Hearthstone and just like, I don't know, RPGs in general, the grind to get certain cards and certain decks just doesn't seem that appealing to me, especially when I've been conditioned for nearly 15 years at this point to buy into my game. Normally I won't do that with video games, but I'll do it with Magic the Gathering. And I don't know. It's just a huge barrier of entry for me, especially if I started from ground zero and I was told that I'd have to pretty much earn my way into a new standard collection. I mean, like, if you're dedicated enough, sure, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like many standard players are going to be up for that. It's like I just paid $400 for this deck, and you're going to have to tell me that I can't pay like another $200 to get into the digital version. I'm going to have to play like 40 hours with some shitty standard deck opening loot boxes and shit. No, fuck that.
Yeah, see, so that's where I was actually going to go, is that as long as it's not too expensive, too. So, like, when we were on Kevin's stream talking about this, someone brought up the idea of, like, those redeem cards. So, like, you open up your booster pack, and then there's the card at the back that has, like, the QR code, like Pokemon does, and that you can, you can redeem your pack and get cards that way, and that might be helpful. I was also reading up a bit about it, and it said that they want to have, like, first win of the day bonus and things to that effect. So, as long as, like, the rewards for those are pretty good, like those like random cards that you like trade it in for the card of your choice, if they give out enough of those, that would help people build their decks faster too.
Yeah, and I was thinking about what you were saying earlier. It just reminded me, like, so these QR codes, right? So what I was saying earlier is about, like, just buying singles into a standard deck. Like, it makes sense for Wizards of the Coast to do that, because obviously they don't want to have to create another secondary market, like a tertiary market, pretty much, because you have the paper version, the MTGO version, and then the arena version. That just seems like too much on their hands to deal with. So it kind of makes sense why they're building the economy the way it is, but without them introducing mechanics like dusting and stuff, it's just like I don't want to have to go through that grind of having to buy physical packs to get digital packs to get, like, my values worth, essentially, because, like I said before, I won't go buy a box of Rivals of Ixalan just to see if I can get 4 copies of X Mythic for my standard deck.
Right.
And to be told that I pretty much have to do that in the digital version, like, that's one of the first lessons that you learn as a Magic player, is do not overbuy into packs. And that's kind of what Arena is cornering you into.
I have friends that, like, win most of their packs, so I mean,
yeah, I mean, if you win your packs, yeah, that's great. But just, like, I don't know, spending $500-$600 on standard packs just to get your deck, I don't know, just
no. But I mean, like, not
that.
Have that be the only way to get cards, but, like, as a bonus kind of thing. Like, so if you do get your hands on a pack, then hey, here's some extra cards, or, like, instead of, like, a QR code for the value of a pack in game, it could be a QR code for the value of one of those, like, pick your cards card,
like that, kind of like that wild card system that they have.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if every booster pack came with a wild card in MTG Arena,
that'd be dope. That would actually be like a good case to buy a digital pack as opposed to a physical pack, because then you get, like, this other lottery element. I mean, like, already Magic the Gathering's got a lottery element to it, but yeah, if they added wild cards with every single pack, or, like, add in one with every 3 packs bought or something, just give me an incentive for buying these digital items that I will never own in real life.
Right. Exactly.
I don't think that they would ever set it so that you would be guaranteed to get one out of every pack, because that would just mean you could buy the deck you wanted. And that's exactly what they're not looking for. Now, in terms of metrics for what I would determine the program to be a success, and again, I know nothing about it, but really what it boils down to, is it fun? And by that I mean, a lot of the games that try and do this are monetized in a way where the game is designed to not actually be fun in an attempt to get you to spend more. So is the ability to get cards on your own without spending money going to be so laborious that it's no longer fun, and you're basically working for Wizards of the Coast for like 4 cents an hour, and that's what it starts to feel like? Because if that's what you're dealing with, then this to me would be an absolute failure. Where if I can sit down and I don't have to put any money in, and I can play around. Basically, if I can sit down and play for as long as I want to and feel like I'm making progress the whole time and enjoy myself, feel like I'm working towards my goal, no problem. If at any point it feels to me like I have to spend a penny to get anywhere, then it's a failure. If I feel like I can get where I want to, but it's going to take like 100 times longer than if I put in a penny, that's a failure as a game. So it's really boiling down to the fun aspect of it and not feeling like I'm getting ripped off for my time.
So then, like, maybe what they should have done is made it a game that you have to pay to use, but then it's like unlimited access and it's not pay to win or pay to progress.
No, they don't want to do that. They're
fine.
looking to make as much money as possible. So this is designed to generate
I know
absolutely
that.
as much revenue as possible. They're not going to do anything like good for us. Chandelar will never come again. Chandelar was the perfect embodiment of what a game should be. Here's every card that exists right now. You can play with them all. You don't have to pay us anything. And they realize how abhorrent that is to their business model. So they, look at MTGO. It's like, buy our fucking fake packs, get non-cards, and maybe we'll send you some of them if you meet all these conditions and then pay us extra money.
What if they made you pay for? What if they made you had to pay for each block, like an expansion pack? Like that way, they'd continuously get revenue in, and everybody would get like complete access to every card in the set. Like
they'll do expansion packs. Isn't that what Hearthstone does as well? Don't they just keep coming out with new sets and selling people more stuff?
Okay, here's an idea. They could go like super evil with this. And follow me here. What if they go about like a subscription based model? What if you pay like, I don't know, $60 a year or a month, or just X dollars with X random intervals? Like, let's say you can pay $500 a year. Boom, you have access to the entire modern library, and you can just play on demand right there. Pay $1,000 a year. Boom, you have access to the legacy and vintage. That's about the same amount of money that you're spending on the paper version. So it's understandable for a Magic player. Obviously, to the outside person, that's like abhorrent prices, right? But to like the average Magic player, if you were able to play a playable digital fun version of Magic and be able to pay $1,000 a year to be able to play vintage, legacy, modern, standard, on demand, would you do it?
No, not a chance. That's way too much of an ask. They will make way more money.
What if it was like $15 a month, like World of Warcraft?
It says there's no money in it there. The subscription model is foolishness. If the subscription model worked, Blizzard, like, aren't they the one who makes Hearthstone? They're not going to sit there and go from a subscription model and move to, like, the thing about Hearthstone and this new game is they're absolutely insane cash grabs to like an amazing degree where people will pay out the ass. And Tasty, what you're talking about is you're like, hey, if you pay $600 a month, you can circumvent all that. Nobody's going to do that. And even if it was an option, Wizards wouldn't choose it because they don't get nearly as much money as making you hit that random button. The thing about human beings is the rewards that they respond most to, and this is the crazy thing, if you give somebody consistent rewards every single time, that's not nearly as good as random rewards. If every Wednesday I come to your house,
they've been doing it since the beginning of Magic. Like, that's the basis of booster pack. It's the basis of their entire model. Like, I get what you're saying. Having that randomization is pretty much one of the best business models that you can do, especially in the gaming industry. Definitely.
So I don't see how something that would let people save money in the end over that would be the evil end game you see. The evil end game is what they're doing right now to rake in as much money as they can off of whales, bro.
Well,
I don't know.
And a couple of things too that I'll comment on the wild cards thing and earning cards and stuff. It's pretty stinking easy. And one of the things I wanted to do before coming on the stream is I wanted to see how many games I can get in before I got on the stream. And I started an hour before, so 8 o'clock. And I was able to jump in and hit 7 games of Magic before I jumped into the stream. Which I think, to do it on MTGO, no way. There's no way. I'd get one in before I'd have to jump off and get on the stream. So some of the things that I'm looking towards, and as far as it being a success, is just continue making it easy to play, quick to play, and not have to sit there and grind out for 6 or 7 hours for 3 or 4 games. I mean, the whole idea of just sitting in front of a computer for 6 hours grinding out a few games, I think is grueling, and I don't like doing it. I don't like doing it on MTGO. I'm gonna do that, I'll go play Paper Magic.
Right. If you were to go grind for 6 hours on any game, on any interactive game, really, like you're playing MTG Arena, there's no opponent sitting in front of you. There's no like real social aspect to it. So you kind of have to treat it like a video game. When you go play Final Fantasy 15 for 6 hours, you're actually playing a game and you're actively engaged, while Magic the Gathering is a much more intellectual game and you're involved in a different way. Like it's just kind of harder to do that from like a more casual perspective. If you're die hard into Magic, you can probably grind away 12 hours if you really wanted to, and like not even be fazed by it. But for the average person to come across such a wall in order to be able to experience and enjoy the whole game, I think is going to be very off-putting, and they definitely need to change that business model as soon as they can, because it's not going to be healthy. And I think that's what this whole beta is for. They're kind of just gauging all these reactions, and they're seeing what would work the best in the Magic players' eyes before they take it public. I don't know.
So what do you think that they should do concerning people who play MTGO? Like everybody who's already invested in that, and now they're going to be asked to start over from zero, because like I feel like that they should appraise like the collection and then buy them out and give them credits for Arena.
I actually don't think there's going to be the hardcore grinders on MTGO. I don't feel like will make the switch to Arena. I think Arena will be more of the entry to midpoint for players or casuals. That's just the way I see Arena. I mean, I'll jump on to play, like, for instance, I have kids, so I don't have enough time I don't have a ton of time every day to devote to do some grinding on MTGO to get my reps in.
You have kids?
Yeah, I have two.
Oh wow. How old are you, bro?
38.
Oh, well, okay, never mind that. For some reason,
I have two.
You pull it off well, man.
I know, Angie, but I'm not surprised by you having kids. You got them big jubblies, so obviously you're gonna end up pregnant. I thought he was a younger guy. It's like, you have two kids. It's like, Jesus, you're living your life at rocket speed, and it's like, oh, you're just slightly younger than me. Well, carry on.
You do look
young. That adult life, like, you know what I mean? There's only a year difference between you and me, but because I smoke, I look like I opened the Ark of the Covenant. My face is melting. So you keep living your life and being a responsible adult, doing what I should be doing.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like I just don't see and we haven't heard from Kevin yet on this whole thing. He's been sitting there quietly.
I'm just listening how wrong everyone is. And
fuck,
waiting to
fuck you,
right? No, it's the whole thing with Arena is they need to tell me what the hell it's going to be before I formulate an opinion on it. We've heard all this nonsense from Wizards. Well, actually, the problem is we haven't heard anything from Wizards. We have bits and pieces of people trying to speculate of what Arena is going to do. Now, if it's an entry-level, mid-entry level thing, as Chris is saying here, where people can come on, play a few games, start earning towards a collection. It's not going to cost money unless you want it to cost money. People can collect it like people can play it like Clash of Clans, or what are some other of these really grindy games that you can get to a certain point but then can't go any further if you pay, sure. But if Wizards wants to take it seriously, like if they're going to put a pro tour on it, that's going to spell disaster. So, or a pro tour qualifier.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, and nobody should say anything about it, and you're all idiots. But if they do this, it'll be a disaster. Get out of here.
Well, okay.
Get out of here.
No. I don't know what Arena is, because no one knows what Arena is, because Wizards hasn't. That's the whole problem. We can't formulate. Like, it's hard for me to really know how to feel about a game that hasn't told us what the game's going to be. So
okay, how about this, man? Here's what I think it's going to be so far, and you tell me if what you've heard doesn't match up with this. It's going to be a scenario where you get packs one of two ways, either by buying them with physical money or through a system you can grind out just by playing. And my only thing that I'm saying right now is if that system is balanced properly, it can be fun. That's the end of the statement. I'm not making anything outside of that. Do you see that as a fair statement? Does that not sound like what they're doing?
Yeah, well, we don't.
Is what they're doing.
We don't know where they're going to go with it. Like Tasty is saying, do they want a PTQ on it? Well, that's going to require 4 Scarab Gods. Good luck getting 4 Scarab Gods. in a
Needing
randomized
specific things in the random system is brutal.
If they're just like, hey, we're not going to go that direction. Let's just give you a thing where everyone can kind of start. Remember the good old glory days of Magic? At least for me, the most fun I've ever had with Magic was when we all played bad cards and we didn't know what the hell was going on. So you open up these booster packs. You're beating each other's up with craw worms. And that was
craw worms. Fucking right. Sorry, man.
I'm old too. I started in Revise, so yeah. So
yes, I love craw worms so much.
Yeah. It's a great card.
It's my favorite.
So,
game.
I mean, awesome. if Arena wants to be that way, I will be behind Arena, full-fledged. And they can have their little pay-to-win if people want to take it seriously, but Wizards doesn't take it serious, and those tryhards can go ahead and waste as much money as they want. And if they still have an outlet for MTGO for me to stream on and brew on, then I'll be perfectly happy. But I'm also here with Nick, with Tasty, that if they... try to take their own game seriously with this model, it's only going to spell disaster.
So here's one thing I'm going to speculate. So they sent out some surveys recently, and I'm going to speculate on something. Actually, I'm going to speculate on two things. One, I think they're going to do... I think at launch, we'll see draft events that will be DCI sanctioned, and I think... there is possibly going to be benefits for people who stream MTG Arena. Not sure how they'll work that out, but I do believe they are going to really try to blow this thing up to where, they're going to give people as many benefits as possible to get this thing going. Anything else on Arena before we move on?
How do we feel like it looking like Hearthstone?
I'm fine. It just needed to look better than Magic the Gathering Online. That's the bare minimum.
Yeah, good point.
If they're willing to step up the cookie and actually go balls out, fine. But at this point, I'm okay with it. It's whatever.
I was never an aesthetics person, so
I feel like it's kind of a ripoff. And that they could have, been more original.
Yeah, all I care about is it being fun. And honestly, I'll tell you this right now: don't ever ask Wizards to be original.
Magic.
Right. Well, and it needs to be functional too. It needs to be fun and functional.
You reach the Tomb Raider issue with that. It's like everyone says that Tomb Raider's ripping off Uncharted, but Uncharted ripped off Tomb Raider. So it's kind of the same issue with that. But I think it's just the design issue with Hearthstone or just Magic in general in terms of cards.
Did a League of Legends player really just talk about ripoffs, or are you salty because of ripoffs? Because I'll start. I'm triggered.
I'm not trying to. I was introduced to League of Legends first. That's all. I only found out about Dota later. I mean, I know that that was obviously first.
Yeah, to be fair, I heard of League of Legends way before I heard of Defense of the Ancients. So
yeah, see.
Okay, so let's move on because I think we could go on. We can go on this back and forth probably for quite a long time. All right, so Dominaria's next, but real quick, I want to go around the room. Favorite card from Rivals of Ixalan that you either just like or you're thinking about brewing around. Looking at you, Kevin.
Azur's Gateway. Card's the boss. I'm 5-0-ing with it. That's my new goal. I've already brewed a good deck with it, so I'm going to try to 5-0 with it. I'll probably be very obsessive for the next month, but at least you'll get to see some... If MTGO will work, that's the problem. Right now we're having massive lag issues on MTGO, and so if you're playing a control deck, it's like Azur's Gateway's pretty much the epitome of control. I'm getting game 2, and not enough time left in game 3 because it takes 3 to 4 seconds to do every little stupid action right now. So
I'm going to throw a curveball here. I'm going to say the card that's impressed me the most was in one of my friend's cubes. I drafted an Adanto Vanguard, and I fell in love with it as soon as I played it. I think it made me actually kind of want to play a green-white white weenie in Standard, even though I haven't touched Standard in a long time, and I'm quite dissatisfied with Wizards. Just that card in general, Adanto Vanguard, or however you pronounce it, that card is sweet.
Isn't that that was from Ixalan.
Are we not? No, I thought we were talking about Rivals. Is it not from
They did a bunch
Rivals?
of reprints. Maybe he's confused.
Adanto Vanguard isn't that from Ixalan? The indestructible one?
Am I that out of touch with
life
standard?
indestructible stabbing a dinosaur bitch that looks amazingly elegant in the artwork.
I'm that out of touch. Sweet.
You didn't play with that like crazy in
that's your
Ixalan?
That's your answer either way. That's how unimpressed Rivals of Ixalan was for you. You just said screw it.
Angie.
You're giving Desolator ammo that you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no.
Hey,
I like how
I
Tasty
did
can't
mention
go
that I
anywhere
haven't-
without you mentioned.
I did mention that I haven't played in a year, and yeah, that fucking guy is just like he'll talk shit.
Now it's gonna turn into this shit.
He'll talk shit to me on Twitter, but when I call him out, he's mum. Like, come on, dude. Like, I'm fine with Desolator. Like, I've said it many times before. I'm cool with him. I don't know if he's just fucking with me. He may be fucking with me. I don't know, but
I don't know, man. It seems like he doesn't fucking give up his grudges easy, bro. I don't think he's fucking. I think he
guess
fucking
not.
hates your goddamn guts, bro. I think he hates your fucking guts.
well, I was
I mean,
pretty ruthless in my first video of him, and I'm sure that supercut didn't help at all. That supercut is what actually made him email me and like actually piss him off. So I think it did its job.
Okay, so I'll answer the question. I don't actually play standard. I prefer to play casual and just make whatever I want with whatever card I want. But my husband does play standard, and he has been obsessed with that Rekindling Phoenix.
So it's not even your answer. You took that long to not give us your answer. Tell us what your card is.
Well, I don't know. I don't play standard, so
It's all good.
I don't give a shit.
So you're telling us you're married to a filthy spike, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Kevin is so full of fucking hate tonight. It's amazing. It's like you watch his market streams and he's like, "Oh yes, this has gone up by 14 cents." You get him on here. He's like, "I fucking hate you all. I'm so triggered. I'm so angry with everything in life. Somebody take this dog away from me before I accidentally kill it." All right. Anyways,
He's getting
Mike, you're not a rogue deck builder fanboy. He's always been like this.
oh, the thing is, I could see the rage and hate smoldering in his eyes, but I didn't realize it came out in his fucking streams and videos.
Well, like I said, a customer gave me the bag of dicks because I'm always a dick around the store.
That's amazing.
So
That's awesome. I'm only nice to people at the store. I wouldn't swear at anybody or say a mean word ever, dude. That's how I roll.
you should have heard me last night. A kid kept a one-lander, and someone was playing the werewolf commander that flips if no one casts a spell. And I was pissed off because it flipped and killed my ogre battle driver, and it wasn't even my fault. Just because someone else kept a greedy land, so the entire night I was just screaming at the kid for, "This is why you mulligan. You ruin it for everyone." Yeah,
that's funny. All right, so I guess it's my turn for a fucking favorite card from. I'll pick one that's actually from Rivals of Ixalan. I'll do that just to be fair. All right, so Rivals of Ixalan, my favorite card, I'm going to say, and this is for two reasons, guys, two good reasons, is Immortal Sun, okay? Now, the minor reason that I'm picking it is because I can sell them all day. They're easy as hell to get rid of, the appeal. The major reason is because Kevin hates that card. Fuck you, Kevin.
true. I don't know. Do I hate Ash Cloud Phoenix or Immortal Sun more?
Immortal Sun more, because it's going to go in every commander deck for the rest of your fucking life, bro. That's why I picked it. I know you, and I knew what you would hate, so I picked it, even though Angie hit the other note, which was amazing.
Well, I actually don't mind the Phoenix. I just mind when people pick it up, because I
like the Phoenix. I think it's a fun idea. It might be, I don't know, it may be too good for the curve, but still, I like it. I think it's fun. And honestly, I will admit that I'm swayed by the giant flaming owl in the artwork. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
yeah, the art's cool.
So, my actual favorite card is Hadana's Climb, because I got super excited for that card in Animar. That card is so dope.
You get two answers now. He's gonna chime in a minute later. I also like Fox Sapphire.
Yeah. How do you like that?
And you're putting in Animar. Why are you putting in Animar?
Why? Because
you're a bad Animar player.
Look, I'm not an all-in combo player with Animar. I actually like to give my opponents a chance to swing back. I'm sorry, Kevin.
It takes an entire. Well, I guess you get a plus counter on it your first combat. Cool. I guess you can Voltron with Animar, but that's the
problem.
What? No, that Animar deck. Animar will get fat super fast, and you throw that on, and it'll flip on its first combat, and then the next turn you give it evasion and kill someone.
Since when does Animar attack? Is he a
I attack
defender?
with
Is it right on Animor? It says defender.
Who doesn't
I'm
attack
gonna
with
have to check.
Animar? Look, dude, it's not
Me?
my fault that you play Animar wrong, okay? It's not my fault.
Okay.
He is a creature without defender, so...
No, I'm pretty sure it's got defender.
Uh-huh. No, he has protection from white and black. That's what you're getting it mixed up with. Sorry, Kevin.
Same
All right.
ability as much.
All right, so my favorite card from Rivals is Polyraptor. I'm brewing around that card right now. I like the interaction with the Enrage trigger. And when you basically... I've been able to trigger off Polyraptor 4 times in the same turn for each one of them and have like 8 or 9 dinos out in one turn. There's a pretty sick interaction with the Enrage trigger with the Goblin Pirate. What's the one you can it's got haste, you sack it, do 1 damage. What is that to target creature? I can't remember the name of that stinking card now.
Just the 1-drop?
Yeah, the 1-drop.
The
Goblin
little pirate goblin? Yeah. Firebrand something.
Fanatic, yeah, that thing. So
or something, yeah.
All right, so moving on, let's go on to Dominaria because everybody is talking about the return to Dominaria. And what is it going to mean for Standard? What are we going to get? And so we'll start with you, Perp. On Dominaria, we're going to be returning to the roots of Magic, where most of us have played probably a lot of these old mechanics and cards. What do you think is going to what old mechanic do you think we could or should see in the next?
Oh, okay, we got actual proof now. Thank you, Kevin, for clearing that up for me.
Mechanic or creature type or planeswalker. What do you want to see in this Dominaria? Revitalize, return to Dominaria, whatever it's going to be called.
All right. Well, in terms of what I want to see, I mean, I fully have to admit that I have a problem here, and that I have such a long scope with the game. Right. So Wizards, I'm not sure exactly what audience they're going to be trying to appease specifically with this. And Dominaria obviously has like a lot of things that have occurred on it. So I feel genuinely like I'm probably going to be let down. I haven't spent too much time thinking about it. I'm hoping that when I look through it, I get all excited. I would love to see a nod towards the old Brothers War, like Urza or Mishra as an actual card. I honestly feel maybe, I'm not sure if the fact that they included Urza's head in this unstable is a way of saying, fuck you, you're not going to get to see Urza, or if it's just kind of, let's get Urza's people back into people's consciousness kind of thing. But I would love to see stuff from the early Brothers War. I feel like they need to do a nod to, even though I don't even really want to really see it that much, the whole legacy weapon, Gerard, Miri storyline. So I think basically kind of the same idea. Like when they did Time Spiral, I felt like they did a really good job of bringing a bunch of characters that you had seen only in flavor text and stuff, and they argued it through time rifts. So now that I think about it, because I haven't really, because of the aforementioned reasons, what I would really like to see is something akin to Time Spiral, where you get a whole bunch of people coming from different parts of it coming together. So bring Lim Duel in, you know what I mean? Bring in all that stuff. Let's go to Argoth. Let's see all the different parts. But I don't know. I feel like they also are lazy and don't do as much work as they used to. So I don't have high hopes. I feel like I've been kicked in the balls so much by Magic lately that it's kind of like I'm still keeping my fingers crossed and hoping, because I'm one of those things that they dub a super fan in their own terminology. Can't help myself. But I don't have high hopes, but I'm hoping for a Time Spiral-esque smorgasbord of a bunch of stuff that old people like me remember.
Slivers. Kevin.
Well, I'm glad you came to me so we can give time for Angie to go ask her husband.
Look, he's even angry about that.
Just kidding. Jeez. Oh, anyway, so I think here's the pessimism really coming out in me. I think that Dominaria is going to be Magic's version of The Force Awakens. So we're gonna get Sheevan Dragoner, and we're gonna get.
We're
What
gonna get
else
a
is out of-
3-mana Birds of Paradise.
Oh, God,
No,
I didn't
no,
even
it's
think
going to
about
be
that.
better than Birds of Paradise. This is you got to have the bigger Death Star. You got to instead of destroy one planet, you got to destroy 5 planets, a whole solar system. You got to, so we're going to see, we're going to see Sheevan Dragoner, which is going to be a 4-mana haster. That's going to be a 5/5 because we don't. Well, no, it's going to be a 6/5 because we can really go above the Jedi curve now. Because, Sam Stoddard and Mark Rosewater hate answers and love threats. So, Sheevan Dragoner, so 1 mana is going to give plus, we don't just like +1/+0. What's better? +1/+0 and do a damage to a creature. And it's going to have flying haste.
Rampage.
And, that was a mess of a mechanic. They'll never bring back Rampage.
Oh my God, Rampage is one of the absolute worst. You ever see that Legends
Terrible.
card Rapid Fire?
It's gonna
you
have
seen Rapid
Rampage
Fire?
and Tramp.
Rampage?
No, it's
Rapid fire? Wait, what?
yeah, like
Rapid
Tika's
Fire. It's an instant from Legends. 4 mana to give a creature first strike and Rampage 2. Rampage doesn't even kick in unless it's being blocked by at least 2 creatures, for Christ's sakes. It is the worst ability. I remember getting excited about Craw Giant and then going, oh, fuck this Rampage bullshit.
I saw Tika's Dragon once. I think that's the only card I've seen with Rampage. I was like, I guess that's playable if you put a lure on it or something.
Lure Tika's Dragon. That's amazing.
Because it's got Rampage and Trample. Like it needs another mechanic in order to make it good. That's how bad Rampage is.
It needs to lose flying as well, so it'll be blocked by more creatures.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. It needs what's a good grounding card that you could play?
Earthbind. You need to Earthbind your own Tika's Dragon and get it all sexy.
There you go.
I want to see Threshold back. I think
So I
Threshold
was-
will be nice.
Yeah, Threshold would be dope. I think that's one of my more favorite mechanics that they never really did anything with. But I was just looking up now because you had me interested, Mike, in thinking about the time between the Brothers' War to where we are now. So the time between where we last saw Dominaria before Time Spiral was in Scourge. So between Scourge and Time Spiral, that was 200 years. And between Future Sight and Lorwyn was 60 years, which was the Mending. And then from what I understand, from Lorwyn till now, I think is 5-8 years. So we're about 260, 270 years from the Brothers' War. And I think it'd be cool if they did a whole showing ruins of old.
Yeah,
Domin-
man, totally.
I think that would be
have a ruined artifact version of the Golgothan Silex or whatever, man. That shit's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Angie?
All right. Well, I mean, Kevin kind of called me out, but so I mean, I can only go on what people's excitement is and what people who actually know what they're talking about can say. But if it turns out the way that people are predicting, then that makes me kind of want to start playing Standard, especially since energy has been nerfed. Because from what I've heard, that made Standard a really toxic environment, and so I wasn't interested in partaking. But what I'm more looking forward to over Dominaria is actually the core set, because I think that it'll make the following sets better, because the core cards are going to be in the core set covered, and that'll give them possibly more space to make different mechanics and stuff in sets following that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think one set blocks will be better for Standard too. I think overall Standard could be healthier with the one block or the one set block. So no longer having a big set, small set, and they have to then carry on with the Aether Revolt and Kaladesh type broken mechanics that they created.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Not to
So
be
yeah,
a pessimist.
so I'm looking forward to potentially joining the Standard environment in the near future.
Not to be
Did your
a total
husband tell you to
pessimist,
say that?
but,
No, my husband's sleeping.
Well, how's he answering the goddamn questions from before then? What do you just like nudge him with an elbow and
No,
whatever he
because he
mumbles
keeps
is your answer?
talking about purple yesterday. He was like telling me to ask all of Twitter that there was one other card that he wanted, and he said if they give me one copy of that card, they get a picture of one of my boobs, and if they give him a copy of the Phoenix, then they get both my boobs.
There you go.
Like,
that's what I'm talking about.
And on about it. So,
now that's the real magic trading online that I'm talking about. Hell yeah. I mean, let's talk about how are these things near mint? Like, what condition are we talking about? Have they been graded yet? I offer official grading services.
Oh my god. Well, you'll be able to grade them when I finally get that pack of Force of Will, right?
I don't know what just happened.
I don't know either. I'm confused. What's going on? I am 14. What is this? How does that meme go?
Because Purple makes a series called Force of Will Jug Hunt, and I offered to make a video for him where I'm going to write Jug Hunt on my cleavage and make a little skit out of it. And the only issue I'm having right now is that none of the LGSs I actually go to carry Force of Will packs. And it's kind of like crucial to my skit that I have planned. So once I get that, then Purple's going to be graced with a video of my boobs.
That's what I'm talking about.
Dope.
Just this long pause. Dope.
Okay, but to be fair, it wasn't him that asked for it. It was Carly. So really, it's Carly's getting graced with my boobs.
So you get sloppy seconds then, Purple.
Yeah.
I guess if she licks the screen or something. I'm not sure how that works. Little chuckle.
Yes.
That's so good. I want that now. I want that on a soundboard that I can just use. I'll just be watching something, not for other people to hear, though. I'll just be watching something after Carly goes to bed, and I'll hear something funny that makes me laugh in Shark Tank, and then I'll just have TastySnackies with that quiet little it'll be perfect. That'd be awesome. I might just do it. I might come back to this recording and see that sound piece up.
Oh man.
Do it.
Now I'm gonna start laughing so hard like you did with the butthole tear. Ooh.
I almost died, dude. That was brutal.
Oh man. Okay, so moving on from Dominaria, let's hit the last set that we're gonna talk in this topic and this evening, and that's Masters 25, which is gonna be the real iconic Masters.
Oh, fuck this set already. Fuck this set. I'm done. That's all I have to say. Fuck just any Master set in general. Y'all lost me with the Modern Masters 2017. I was done. I'm out. Sorry. Goodbye.
They're gonna downshift to Johnny's Pride Mate to Common. Come on.
Oh, so you can finally live your dream in Pauper as well?
Yes.
So is Soul Sisters not playable without a Johnny's Pride Mate?
I don't think it has a payoff. The way they play it is not in Pauper. I'm not interested in playing in that way.
I'm telling you right now, Masters 25 is going to surpass the value of the original Masters 2013. They're just gonna jam pack.
What are they gonna replace?
You're so fucking hopeful.
Did you see the article? Did you see the article today? Because I think it's a good preview of what we're gonna see.
No, I didn't see the article.
Do tell.
They did a timeline. Of just the Magic.
Oh,
20,
yeah.
25.
What cards did they show? I forgot about that.
They showed Onslaught fetch lands for sure.
Yeah, I remember seeing Elvish Mystic and they put Dragon's Maze in there. That was funny. Posted that on Twitter.
I'm pretty sure they have to trot out is fetch lands again, and then it's just going to be a bunch of garbage again where you're like, here's another seance, suck our dicks. Like, the Master sets are fucking trash.
These fetch lands are still like $15-$20 a piece, whereas the Zen fetches are still in the 30s, 50s, somewhere around there. So they'd really have to sweeten the pot in order to make it worth it, beyond fetches. Because we already have a shit ton thanks to cons.
Throw it in the land slot is where I've been saying this entire time. They want to really throw the value up. Is instead of a foil, put a land, and then have no basic lands in the set. They've done that in Fate Reforged. So you have a chance of getting some land at different rarities. And I think this is what Modern needs. Everyone keeps talking about Modern price needs to come down. The only thing I really think has come down in Modern is some of the more obscure cards and the mana base. No one likes paying money for the mana base. So this is a great way to inject it in.
It would be cool if they did that. I honestly, I think with the real problem with the Master set, the one that's coming up next, is that basically I feel like Iconic Masters and M25 are just two names for the same goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Something is iconic because it's built into the history of your game. So we're going to do Magic to History and Magic to History. My feeling is they probably designed them together and took half for one and half for the other and just shoved a bunch of garbage in both. That's my gut feeling. I do not predict this going on.
Or they made Iconic was going to be what 25 was, and then their Iconic ended up just being like cards that we think need reprinted. It didn't have any... these cards were just...
I like to call it
modern sideboard
Hydra,
cards.
Angel, Demon. It was stupid.
I like to call it Commander Masters. That's pretty much what
they
it
just
is.
used it as an excuse to shove Dragon Tempest and shit in there.
But it was bad. The design of it was, besides dragons, the other tribes didn't work at all. Yeah. There was no point to them. No,
it's garbage.
They didn't have. Yeah, it was fun for a few drafts, but Iconic just fell flat on all levels. Master set, I don't even know if they should have tried to make it draftable. That's my... It should have just been one of these money grab packs. That's fine. I would have been...
Stop doing Masters every year, honestly.
Absolutely.
The they're pushing them out it's too frequent, and they devalued the property. I have a friend who his wife was in Japan, so he was like, check out the prices of stuff for me, and they steadily sell the Iconic Masters for half the price that they're here. It's crazy. Like they know that the stuff is just, it's a dog, it's garbage, and they just keep doing this. Modern Masters 2015 was the biggest joke, man. They sent it out in those cardboard packages that you'd expect to get a piece of gum in that were guaranteed to damage the cards on top of the card quality issue. They get greedier and greedier and greedier. They put almost nothing, just breadcrumbs into the set in terms of value. The first Modern Masters was amazing. They put so much value into the packs that you knew you were getting a good deal out of what you were getting. Like, they were worth buying. And then Wizards got so insanely greedy that they went the complete opposite way with the second Modern Masters. And then with the third one, they tried to pull up the reins, and they did it slightly better. But God, Iconic Masters proves they're just as greedy as ever, and it's not going to get any goddamn better.
You not know the story about why they packaged it that way?
I fucking assumed it was to fucking to save money. I assumed it was just some bullshit like you can save money.
It costs more.
Oh wait, what?
Eco-friendly.
Yeah, I knew it was supposed to be eco-friendly. But I thought that was just like the slant they were using to justify.
No, it was a lot more. The packaging for that suckers. Yeah.
That's amazing. That packaging, literally, you pick it up and it's like shaking a pack of fucking chiclets, bro. It's like.
Are we talking about Modern Masters 2015? Yeah, that was that was for the Grand Prix, because Las Vegas or Nevada got super pissed off because Modern Masters 2013 they produced so much like aluminum foil garbage that they're like, look, this can't happen again. So that prompted Wizards to make the cardboard packs. From what I understand, that was the main reason.
Vegas really whines about that. Yet the schmutt that gets past you on their streets every day, they don't come down on that. But a bunch of nerds playing with these.
How did they even find out? Like, this sounds like a manufactured story. Like, the government officials came along and said, we rooted through the 15 trash bags outside the convention center the weekend that you had, and we fucking decided that there was just too much packaging. That sounds like something they would say afterwards to be like, well, we did it for this reason, and we just thought going green would look good on the company, and look, we would get our dicks sucked for being eco-warriors, and then it's like, oh, goddamn, who cares about the card quality? The customers don't fucking matter. Fuck them. We're about looking good, bitch.
I don't know. I'm willing to believe it because I don't think that they're stupid enough to be like, oh, let's try these cardboard packs and see, like, maybe it saves them more money in the long run to print these cardboard packs, and like, let's try these out. And then they shake them and they're like, oh shit, well, we already packaged Modern Masters. Let's just try it out and see what happens.
you're more willing. Hold on, you're more willing to believe like there's two scenarios. One scenario is where they're like, hey, as an advertising rev like kind of thing, we can go, look, we're now eco-friendly. We have this over other card games. This is something we can advertise our company. Which is more likely? That happened, or that somehow they dug through the trash and determined that too many booster pack wraps have been thrown out. Like,
well, no,
honestly,
that's not what I'm saying.
I mean, Occam's razor here, bro. Which one is more likely?
No, that's what I was saying. I was saying, what if instead they tried the cardboard packaging as a permanent replacement instead? Like, what if it was
That's
cheaper?
what they were planning to do, as far as I understand. This was a test run.
Yeah,
we're
this was a
switching
test
over.
run. And that's what I'm saying. Like they noticed it too late and they shook the pack and they're like, well, shit, it's too late at this point. And they just sent it out and they're like, let's try it. Let's see how people are going to be pissed off with their scratched foils.
Well, you just described Wizards in a nutshell. They always think they're going to be this cutting edge stuff that you get it perfect. We're going to win the whatever the award this time is going to be for most progressive company. Everyone's like, oh, you just saved the world, the universe with your card packaging. They thought everyone's going to bend over backwards.
They have no respect for their customer base. I mean, if you think back to when Edgar was supposed to come out, Edgar being Summer Magic, right? That set was so abysmal, you could easily compare it to something like Rivals of Ixalan, which just came out. They had saturation issues. They had all kinds of
you're cutting out.
Issues in Purple. Company like burn them, destroy them, get rid of them. Now their policy is, oh shit, look at those garbage cards. Ship them to those retards. They'll pay for them, and don't ever say that we fucking did it. Whatever. Card quality's fine. It's like they're an abusive fucking spouse, and they're just punching you in the face, and you're like, please stop punching me in the face. Why are you punching me in the face? And they're just like, oh, it's Taco Tuesday. And it's like, can we talk about the fact that you're punching me in the face? Fuck you.
I think the most obvious sign of abuse from Wizards of the Coast is them drip feeding reprints and them using the shitty, oh, we print these bad cards for limited excuse.
Oh, that's God. That. Yeah, that's true.
Instead, you're going to keep buying our $10 booster packs. Now you're going to buy them twice a year, because fuck you.
You know,
I've been in the game. I'm gonna have to see all that shit.
You know, you went through that whole rant, and you didn't even mention the perfect product placement that Kevin has there for the Clorox wipes.
Well, he has two stages, and I was looking at them earlier. I said I was looking at his background, and he said there was a Clorox wipe there, and then out of fucking nowhere, the Clorox gremlin that he fucking stashed away in his house fucking heard my voice. He literally has this fucking dude trained. If you ever hear MTG Purple voice say fucking Clorox or anything, quickly fetch the Clorox. And so out of nowhere, he just poof mystically appears like a Harry Potter elf. And he's like, please just give me a sock or something. And Kevin's like, put the fucking Clorox down. You will drink the Clorox water with me later. Now get the fuck off screen.
Beautiful.
All right. So let's wrap up on this with one last question. We'll go around the room, and we'll start with Angie. Most needed reprints, up to 3 cards max, on Masters 25. What do you guys think should be reprinted in Masters 25? Value, whether it's a card that needs to be reprinted or something you just want to see in there.
Oh, geez. I mean, I'm gonna say, what's expensive that I want? I want Birds of Paradise. I want Thoughtseize. And I wouldn't mind that I think it's Vampiric Tutor. Is that possible even? I don't know what's not being like not able.
Reprinted in Eternal Masters.
I think they're highlighting a card or like a set number of cards for each year. So I think like the criteria is non-reserve list cards for 25.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean those are cards that I have some decks that I've been like working on that I haven't bought the cards for yet, or that I'm missing a couple cards for, and that like they're just kind of out of my price range. So I kind of would like to see stuff printed that would make cards more affordable for me.
My 3 choices are Portal 3 Kingdoms cards: Imperial Seal, Ravages of War, and Temporal Manipulation. That's what I want to see. I want to see them just fucking lay down the table and just be like, here's a shit ton of value in this set with fetches. That's what I want to see.
Nice.
It'll be funny to watch the devaluation on those cards, like the originals, as a result.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a feeling at least one of those will get a reprint. Probably Ravages of War is my guess. Either that or Imperial Seal. I feel like Imperial Seal might be the Tarmogoyf of this set. Because it's one of the most expensive non-reserve list cards. And it makes sense. Since they're highlighting 25 years of Magic, why not highlight a super underground set that most newer players didn't even know existed?
There you go.
Tell them that there's a Vampiric Tutor that's worth $1,000.
Yeah, that kind of blows my mind.
All right, Purple or Kevin? Who wants to go next?
Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, I was having a showdown with you. See who would flinch first. I'm more practical here. I want cards that retain value. So cards that are already proven. If they don't get a reprint, they're going to make Modern less accessible, especially after this weekend if either one of these decks does well. First, for 2 Planeswalkers, Karn Liberated and Liliana the Veil. Yes, they've both had recent reprints, but they need another one. Otherwise, those are going to get out of hand. And the third card, let's see. I think that Chalice, even though people want it banned, that Chalice is kind of a hang-up for Modern. Either that or Ensnaring Bridge. Both of those are in desperate.
Bridge is good.
Commander, though, does need Crucible. So, Crucible of Worlds. So there are some goodies that they can pack in this set.
Azusa.
Azusa?
Azusa.
That's, yeah.
Yes.
I'm actually expecting one of these days they're going to come out with like a Commander's Toolbox. Just a huge money grab. Like $100, kind of like what they did with the Commander's Arsenal, but now...
Yeah, they did that. That was cool. I actually liked that thing.
You're going to get $700 worth of cards in the $100 box thing.
And
we'll see it happen.
And everybody's gonna sell it. For
That'll be the Yu-Gi-Oh threshold then.
Yeah.
Like at that point, why not just start printing tins like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon do? But I could see that happening.
Well, they've already started to print packaging, like with the recent holiday gift pack thing. It looks just like a Pokemon packaging.
Oh
dude.
my god, that upsets me. I actually like the holiday gift boxes. So when I found out that they're I have like 5 of them like filled with like random bulk and stuff like that.
All right, so I guess it's my turn.
I just choked on my spit. All right. Anyways, yeah, when I saw those the new gift pack there, like I actually got really really pissed off. Like, what is this thing, and why would anybody buy it? Like, what a ripoff, you know?
Yeah.
Got Carrie Zev in it. Come on, that's tier 1.
And Metalwork Colossus. It's an 11/11.
Like, and I mean, the older gift boxes were like lower quality, and they had like the problem where like the corners would bust open and stuff. But I feel like the more recent ones that fixed the problem because they like built it in such a way that it would support the lid while it was on, and it wasn't the card supporting the lid. And I know they had a bad rep because they were like busting at the sides. Like I have a Return to Ravnica one that's like completely trashed because like I put something on top of it and it just collapsed under the weight. But like now that those problems are fixed, like if they were just able to like hype that up more, then people would see that they're not the same crap quality that they used to be. You know, and instead they just gave up on it, which sucks. But yeah, that's how I feel about that.
They wanted to sell that stupid holiday gift, whatever they call it. They should have put a random foil pack in it, not 2 cards.
They shouldn't have done the repeats with those garbage. And the printing quality on them was terrible. I got a bunch of misprinted versions, man. Just
they're cloudy. They're very cloudy.
What if they had standard showdown packs in them?
Well, it wouldn't need to be standard showdown. They just need to be. They would just be called holiday foiled pack. And it only came in that. They should have made an exclusive pack that these would have sold off the shelves.
Or more than just one of each land too, because like I think the lands are cool, but I don't see like one of each land justifying buying it.
The problem with lands too is they hit the lands hard in the exact same time period. You have Unstable that came out. Yeah. You had standard showdown packs, which were putting the same ones in, right? Or are they different? They're different.
No, they had gay lands. The other ones have pool lands, but still, you're right. It is.
Yeah, so
there's too much overlap with all these lands.
And wasn't there something else that had like special lands too around this time period? That's enough. That's 3 right in a row.
You got hours and stuff too.
Yep, so it's just too much with lands. Lands just aren't special anymore. I mean, some people, I understand if someone wants the exact same land in a commander deck, they're going to have to, that's going to always put the price up of that particular land, even if a few people, but yeah, it's just too many lands right in a row.
I don't like how the lands in Amonkhet and Hour are like, or the full art ones have all the same art. Like, I think it's cool that when you like hold one from Amonkhet and one from Hour beside each other, it's like a before and after kind of thing. I think that's really dope, but I don't like that there isn't like a lot of selection, and I think that they should have done it the way that they did in Zendikar.
Well, they're more rare. That's the thing.
I'm guessing they're going to do
4 or 5 packs.
I'm guessing they're going to do the same exact thing for Dominaria. We're probably going to get full art lands in Dominaria.
No, there's no way. There's no.
Are you kidding me? It's Dominaria.
A friend of mine thinks that there's going to be.
There's no way. They're not going to value on
tell me. Don't tell me they wouldn't take advantage of a full art Rebecca Gay land.
There's no point. They've done full art lands way too many times. The special allure of full art lands was that they previously only existed in 2 unsets. When they brought them back for the first Zendikar, that was okay because there was this huge gap and those had gone up in value. So they bring them out in the original Zendikar, and over time they go up to $2. So they decided to revisit the concept Battle for Zendikar, which was fine. That worked just fine and it would not have been a problem. But then they followed that up with Oath of the Gatewatch and did it again. Again, wouldn't have been that much of a problem. Then they went to Amonkhet and Hours and went, we're still putting them in only 25% of the time. Then they show up with them in Unstable going, hey, look, on top of that, you can get them in standard showdown packs and things of that nature, the buy-a-box packs. So they're flooding the market, basically ruining what makes them special to the point where, like, the Unstable lands would be worth more money than they will be because of all these full art lands. I would be genuinely shocked to see full art lands coming up there. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure Wizards said that they were going to make full art lands like a consistent thing in the future. Just like what they said with Masterpieces.
Well, they'll kill their equity then. They'll flip flop on that.
They make unstable lands rare, right? The foil on unstable lands says a lot about what they think. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. What's your?
I was gonna say actually, a few of my friends are speculating that they think that Masterpieces are going to come back in Dominaria.
They'll be in Masters 25.
That could happen. They'll bring them back here and there, and I think, honestly,
Masters 25 with Masterpieces.
Oh my god,
that would be a terrible idea.
For certain sets fits.
I think if they Dominaria
foils though. Master sets need to get rid of foils in every pack.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Go look at the foil multiplier. That's terrible. It's awful.
Yeah, and at the price point, honestly, it's a great place to put inventions because it keeps the price of them higher. Part of the problem with the inventions, the masterpieces, was that they were so overdone that because they kept putting them out, they all had a depressive effect on the price. Yep. But if they only came from higher price packs, that makes that lower price point higher, if that makes any sense.
And lesser open, too.
But wouldn't it... I don't know. It just... When you with like Wizards overprinting everything, it's just like, does that really make that set more valuable if you put lottery cards in it? I mean, like, obviously, yes, it does, but like, I don't know. I just feel like it would be negligible in terms of like a master set to give it random lottery cards, unless they were like awesome, not Amonkhet style lottery cards that were just like balls to the wall amazing.
They're gonna do what they did in Zendikar. They're going to put random Black Lotuses and Power 9 in there.
That'd be awesome. That was cool, man.
Okay, Perp. We didn't hear your however many cards you want to see in Masters.
Oh, you know what? Honestly, I'm going to tell you this. I heard everyone else's answers to what they wanted to be reprinted. Sadly for me, I'm really old. So the stuff I want to see reprinted is on the reserve list, and I'm just going to pick it anyway. So the 3 cards that I would see reprinted if I could all come from Legends. And I would take Nova Pentacle, Pixie Queen, and Master of the Hunt. Not in that order. Master of the Hunt's first choice, Pixie Queen second choice. Nova Pentacle. Those would be what I would have reprinted.
Those first 2 cards aren't real cards. I've never heard of those.
They're all real Legends cards. Nova Pentacle is an awesome card that got overlooked for like 2 decades. It's finally a $20 rare now, which is insane because it should have been for the longest time. It's so cool.
Nova Pentacle.
Yeah, I've never heard of any of this crap.
Okay, guys, it's a forecasting cost artifact. 3 and tap it. The next time a source would deal damage to you, all that damage is redirected to a creature of your opponent's choice. Now you'll notice I didn't say that you control. So you can use this to redirect the next damage that was going to happen to you to a creature your opponent controls. But my favorite story about Nova Pentacle was when my friend was doing a gigantic fireball. He channeled a bunch of his life away. He fireballed and forked all over the table. So everybody at the table was getting a 20-point fireball going at their head. He's at 1 life. Everyone's about to die to a 20-point fireball. I go, in response, I'll pay 3 mana, tap my Nova Pentacle. And he's like, what the fuck's a Nova Pentacle? That's what everybody says about Nova Pentacle. And I'm like, oh, it means you get to pick one creature in play, and it takes my fireball damage. And all I had was 2 Elvish Archers out. So I'm like, which of my 2 Elvish Archers takes that fireball? And then I've got a 2/1 first striker on the board. Everybody else is dead. He's tapped out. He's at 1. And I'm like, is it my turn? I love Nova Pentacle. So cool.
Wow. All right.
Awesome. Get you a Nova Pentacle.
I'm gonna get one.
Goes in 39 decks. Yeah.
Wow. It reminds me of another card that I play. Tanos' Coffin reminds me a lot of it.
Yeah, Tanos' Coffin. That card's awesome, dude.
I love that card. When I first saw it, I was like, and then I saw the price tag. I was like, why is this card $40? And then I read the Oracle text. I was like, oh shit, it's a 5-color Oblivion Ring on demand, pretty much.
Yeah, it's actually really strong. And you're right, it did get overlooked at first, but the power of that card is undeniable, my man. Like Force Field. Look at Force Field. Oh my god, that card's busted. Can you imagine if they printed that now?
Force
Oh,
Field.
jeez, yeah.
I want to say I've seen this card before. What does it do?
I'll tell you what it does, man. It's a 3 colorless casting artifact. Pay 1 mana. The next time a creature would deal damage to you, prevent all but 1 of that damage. So every creature that's going to hit you, just pay 1 mana, and it does 1 damage instead.
Huh.
It's
only
holy shit, $169? God damn.
Well, it's only alpha, beta, unlimited, right? Goddamn, I've been in this game a long time. I love Force Fields. They're awesome. I play with
Is it reserve list? Doesn't look like.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's a rare. Okay.
Oh fuck yeah, it's reserve list, bro. That card is. I mean, imagine they reprinted that though. That would warp whatever format. Standard to be like, okay, this is auto include in any deck that's going to face against creatures.
It's so masterpiece.
It'd be utter trash against Sahili combo though.
Oh, there's certain decks that'll just right, and it's not going to do shit against burn. But
right.
I mean, against a lot of creature strategies, it buys you a lot of time. No creature can do more than 1 damage to you, regardless of how it's like beef it as much as you want. Dick face, I take 1.
Yeah, it is a pretty powerful effect when it becomes a mana sink. When it's a little combat trick, it's draft chaff. But when you can pay on demand for a mana like that, yeah, I can definitely see it being good.
It's dumb, man. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I used to love using it with like Fountain of Youth, so you can just pay 2 and tap to gain a life. So I just sit there and be like, I got 2 Fountains of Youth that cancels out 2 of your creatures. Good luck getting at me.
Well, we'll end it with this. I have my 3 cards that I want to see are Scapeshift, Noble Hierarch, and Mox Opal. Opal is like, man, that card is like ridiculous price right now. It's like $70. And
is it really?
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? Like Mox Opal and Noble Hierarch, both of those were printed in Masters 2015. And yet they're still ridiculous price. Opal's $67, Hierarch is $56. And it hasn't been, neither one of these have been printed nearly enough to get that price down. And Scapeshift is $55 with 1 printing.
Is Scapeshift still like one of the best decks of Modern?
It comes and goes. It's not right now because attrition and control are huge. But I got a very good plan for Scapeshift. Just ban Valakut again. Then I'll go back down.
No, fuck Valakut, man. Fuck Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, man. I have a personal grudge and hate that card. I don't know why, but as soon as you said it out, well, I know why.
If
fuck Valakut.
If Valakut never existed, I'm pretty sure Cobblade would have never been a thing. That's how I feel about that card.
What?
I'm with you. Yeah, Cobblade was built in response to Valakut.
But Cobblade was good against. I played during that time period, and Cobblade was well. Valakut was one of the problems with if you tried to build a deck that beat Cobblade, then you just lost to Valakut, and there were just so many stubborn people. Valakut was a very, very linear deck. There wasn't a lot of thinking to be done with it. Mm-hmm. And there's always that type of player that plays that type of deck because they can go, hoo, I win. It's approach. It's people that play approach now. Like, screw that card. That's this. It's like, look, I win type thing. I just have to settle this.
Well, no, it blends the both. It blends the best elements of both Valakut and Cobblade. You stall the game out, and then you play your I win card.
But it just, yeah. Oh, an approach. Yeah, I guess. I guess. Well, you underestimate Cobblade. It was a quick deck when it.
Actually, Cobblade.
Well,
was
if
really
you slap a sword,
the swords and the Squadron Hawks was retarded.
Especially sort of body in mind when you can keep creating bodies. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets dumb. It gets dumb really, really fast. Like, if you can't handle it, Cobblade will overpower you so fucking quickly.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they just have that residual aggressive 1/1 every time. I kill one of them. There's still 3 of them you have to kill that are actually 3 threes because they were hooked up to a sword. And then later on a batter.
Feel bad. You don't feel the same kind of like, it doesn't feel as shitty to lose to getting overrun by creatures to losing to some bullshit. I put out a mound. No, fuck your mother, asshole. You know what I mean? I don't like Valakut. I don't like Valakut.
Well, in Modern, it's even worse now. Like, Modern, that's one of the most unfun. Like, I don't like Tron or Valakut because they call them time clock decks. You have 4 turns to try to do something. And they could give 2 craps what you're doing. They're going to... Storm is a little bit in this same category. And so, like, I've always said that they're cancer. Aha, I use the cancer word. They're cancer for Modern.
Did you ever see Flash Hulk, man? Did you ever try Flash Hulk ever play against that shit?
Well, that's funny because every time we try to say, like, we have a bunch of kids that want to play casually. They keep saying, I want to play casually. And we have this one kid at the store that's like, has Flash Hulk built. And so every time someone says they want to play casual, he's like, okay, I win. Like, turn when I win.
That's awesome. That's the only time Flash Hulk should be used. There was this kid who I was playing with. He wasn't a kid. He was an adult. He just played like a kid. But he only wanted to play like crazy, ridiculous land destruction, like the most prickish kind of deck. So I told him, if you want to keep playing this way, I'm going to bring something you don't like. And then I brought over Flash Hulk. And it was just like, he's like, I'm going first. I'm like, okay. And then he goes to draw. I'm like, hold on. During your upkeep, you're dead. Game's over. It's like, what? Yeah, fuck you, bud. Fuck. Don't draw that card. You're fucking dead. You want to play your land destruction deck? Eat a dick. And then I'd shuffle out. It's like Flash Hulk is like, oh, did you destroy my land? Good news. I only need 1 land to beat you, dickhead. You ever seen like Simian Spirit Guides? No, fuck you. Lose again. It's like the long game is 2 turns. I mean, it's not fair and it shouldn't exist in Magic, but it's the perfect way to teach somebody that there's unfair bullshit in Magic and fuck you, smarten up.
Okay, well.
Well, thanks for having me, man. I was glad. It's ballsy of you to have me in your first live edition.
Okay, I think audio's back now, right? I think audio's back. So, yeah, I basically was just saying I wanted to thank everybody for joining me. Thanks to Kevin and Tasties and Perp and Angie for joining me. If you guys have not been to any of their channels, I have links below. And yeah, I mean, thanks for joining, guys, because like this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, dude. I love doing this kind of stuff. This is great.
Yeah, man, I had a good time. Thanks. I mean, except for Kevin. Fuck Kevin. But everybody else,
right? He thinks Animar has Defender. Fuck that guy.
That
clown runs a fucking store and doesn't know what he
right
sells.
on the card, Defender. Well, does that protection from white? Can you explain a better Defender than that?
All right. Well, we are signing
Jeez, Kevin,
off.
way to get political, God.
Oh, no. With that said, see you guys